Everyone, and welcome to Life After Graduation. My name's Alex, and I'll be the host today. Unfortunately, Claire can't make it today, but we've got two really great students who are from Swinburne University, Jorel and Chris. Before I kick started and leave it to them, we're gonna be introducing you guys to our new series which is called Life After Graduation, Talking with Students series. Practically, we talk to a range of students from across different areas of universities, not specifically just Swinburne, of course, no bias, but we've got a range of students coming on to talk about their life, some life after graduation, some are still at university, some are about to graduate, so we're going to get a bit of those unique stories that we like to elaborate on through this whole series of Life After Graduation. But before I continue talking, I'm going to introduce our two speakers for today, Jorel and Chris. Hi, Jorel and Chris. How are you guys?
Hey, Alex. Good, thanks.
Yeah,
Pretty
great.
good.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for
Awesome.
having us.
Well, I want you guys to, let's start with an introduction. Who wants to start first? Maybe I'll put my hand in a hat and get a name out. That's maybe Jorel. Let's get Jorel.
All right. Yep. All right. So, I guess probably introduce myself. Jorel from Swinburne University. I'm a third year Bachelor of Information Technology student. Well, the course name has changed since then, but so it's Business Information Technology Professional, something like that. So it's in IT, and I'm doing my major in business tech and minors in data management and computer science. And yeah, I'm on my second placement at the moment in my 3-year degree, so hoping to graduate soon and yeah, really boost my employability for next year and secure a job. So yeah.
Awesome, Jorel. How about yourself, Chris?
So yeah, my name is Chris Dilger. I'm in my 4th and final year of a Bachelor of Computer Science at Swinburne. Currently, I'm working 4 days a week and studying for one to smash out the last 2 units of my degree. So my path through Swinburne, I've been a part of a lot of sort of different programs. So I've only really spent 3 semesters actually physically on campus, and will graduate with only 3 physical semesters at Swinburne. However, I've been involved in a lot of different programs, whether it's the internships and placements or overseas study tours and exchanges, which I reckon I got a lot out of and definitely led me sort of on this path that I'm on at the moment. So it's just a high level background, I guess, of sort of where I'm at, studying computer science and data science and doing that in a role at the moment.
Awesome. No worries. That's great, guys. Thanks for the introduction. I think we can all agree on this. We're all on the same kind of career pathways. All 3 of us on the show tonight. As we all, ironically, we all work in the data scientist, data analyst, business analyst areas. So it's a great showing
For
for
the
the
moment.
field.
Who knows where I'll be at the in a couple of years' time? But yeah, definitely we're in the same industry.
So with
Yeah.
that, like I think we talked about being in the data science, business analyst, IT area. Of course, you guys are still students, and you guys have been highly involved at university. So let's talk about industry involvement and your industry engagement at university. I think you guys mentioned that you guys are both placement students or former placement students. Could you guys talk about that? Let's start with Jorel. Could you talk about the time that I think you're currently doing your placements at the moment? Could you talk about that and your experience in the experience that you've got currently?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so like I said, I'm on my second placement actually. So how my course works, and I think it's important to kind of set the scene a little bit. It's a 3-year degree, and it's a traditionally a 4-year course, but it's condensed to 3 years. And one of those years is allocated to 2 6-month placements. So I'm on the second sort of industry-based learning block with another company. So previously I interned or was on placement with another company in a different role. Now I'm at a different company and doing my current role as a business analyst. So I think from that sort of placement experience, it's given me a wide variety and feel for what it's like to be in industry. Before I was a cybersecurity analyst, and that shift from security to more BA and support is kind of interesting, and you see sort of the different roles and how that how you're able to provide value to the business as different people within the team. So yeah, it's kind of a interesting journey per se. There's no real I wouldn't say there's any real connection or clear progression. I kind of just like go along with the program and hope for the best. But definitely it's given me an insight to sort of how these roles are like in industry, in real life, and whether or not I want to pursue these roles after I graduate. So yeah, it's definitely been an eye-opening experience for sure, especially for someone who I consider myself kind of quite new to IT. I've probably only seriously started studying IT in high school, that VC year 11, year 12 period, and made it my industry, the career path of choice going into university, picking an IT degree. And yeah, it's definitely been, I thought I was playing catch up this whole time, that whole experience of I'm kind of not really, I don't have a heavy IT background, but I'm willing to learn. And I think that's really important for students going into placements.
Jorel, I have a
Awesome.
question about your BA role. Like you say, I'm doing a BA role, but like, what actually is that? What is it?
Yeah, that's a good question, Chris. And I had the same question probably, studying in my first year. You hear all these terms being thrown around at you: BA, consultant,
Oh yeah,
data scientist.
yeah.
What does it mean? So business analyst is how I was taught what a business analyst is, and I think it's very true to how it is in real life. Is you're sort of the jack of all trades. You're good at many different things, and you're able to talk to a lot of people, both business and technical. So most of my days are spent, talking to the technical IT team. So I work very closely with the SAP team for the company I'm at the moment. So SAP is an enterprise system that is part of a lot of these larger organizations and helps with the management of different business functions like procurement, finance, that sort of thing. But not to get too technical. So I talk with those guys and also, communicate that with other business stakeholders. So for some reason, there's a barrier between business people and tech people, and there's definitely a gap to be filled in terms of someone who can speak both languages and communicate with both worlds. So I think that's from my current understanding what a BA role is, and I'm sure that definition is likely to change as I get more experience. But yeah, that's what I'm at the moment.
It's a really good. I think what I'm coming from in Jorel's point of view, before I get to Chris and where he talks about it, I think what I get from Jorel is that 3 years within your Bachelor of IT course is giving you that, even though you're still studying, it's giving you a lot of that experience of that going into industry, talking to clients, working with those enterprise systems that, of course, within your role. Coming from my point of view, when I graduated last year, and coming out of graduation, it was quite daunting because I had close to no experience. The only experience I did was a 12-week internship in a completely different field. Because I studied a double degree in marketing and IT, also in a BA sort of degree. And then when I came out and then started this graduate program at the company I am with, it's kind of another, it's a new world. So coming from, of course, from a graduate and without close to no experience is quite daunting. But for you guys coming as students and going in as student or undergraduates in a company is really, I think what I'm getting from it is very eye-opening. If I can say from your point of view, let me. I think
Yeah, and
I'll
for
pass it
sure,
on to
like,
Chris. Yeah,
yeah.
go on, Jorel. Don't worry. Yeah.
No, I was just about to say, sort of, you're right on that. It's sort of daunting, but I guess if you get that daunting experience out of the way, while you're still in university and you haven't graduated yet, you leave a university with that extra experience, and you don't find it as daunting anymore. So it's definitely great to iron out those wrinkles while you're still growing and developing throughout university. But yeah, pass
Great.
it on to Chris.
We'll pass it on to Chris. How about yourself, Chris? Would you like to give us some insights about, I think, your placement experience? Let's start with your placements. And what did you do, and what was the eye opener?
So, yeah, for me, I think when I came to university, I did have a pretty strong reason. I wanted to get a few different things out of that experience. One of it was the hard technical skills, like studying computer science. I wanted to improve like my programming, my ability to pipe data together. So have data in one place in one format and be able to get that into another place in another format in like a highly automated way, and in a way that answers people's questions and actually helps people out. So um, I say I had a little bit of direction about where I kind of thought I might want to go. And placement for me was not actually a decision that I made right until the last minute. So I was definitely considering going through university without actually taking a professional placement for an entire year, because I had been working alongside my degree, and I've been working as either a freelance software developer, doing web dev, so like websites, stuff like that, or being involved with some other sort of technical support roles like throughout my university degree. So it wasn't necessarily something that I was automatically like going to take from day one. I did enroll in like a professional degree at Swinburne because I wanted to have that option, but I actually delayed that decision right up until the last moment. So for me, I wanted to get kind of bouncing off what Jorel said. There's the soft skills, right? There's the hard skills, and then there's the soft skills. And really, to be a well-rounded person, you have to have a combination of both to some degree. And I've spent a lot of time like really honing like the engineering skills or the software development skills, but I was looking for an opportunity that would help me develop how I interact with people, how I manage stakeholders, like how I present and communicate things back. And I didn't really know it at the time, but what I was looking for was something like a consulting sort of role. And what actually happened is I was at one of the networking events for Swinburne's professional placements, and there was a really highly engaged and motivated group of people there. They had a stall, and they were saying, hey, look, we're doing cloud, we're doing data stuff, we're doing consulting, and a lot of really businessy terms like consultant and analyst and reporting and all this stuff that I actually didn't understand at the time. Super daunting. I had no idea really what I was signing up for, but I did like the story. And the story was around, we are a program that has a learning phase and then like an application phase. You do a boot camp at the start with the data experience, and then at the end you go into client projects and really apply what you've learned. And there's someone there, like a very experienced senior consultants along the entire way that are sort of helping you out to navigate through that. And that really hooked me. I wasn't necessarily going to go through with the professional placements, but I decided, seeing this particular opportunity, that like this would help get me in the direction that I wanted to go. And I jumped on that. So I did that for a year in 2019, which is last year, with the data experience. And I'd say during that experience, I was involved with 3 different projects, spending quite a really quite a variety of different tasks and roles, whether it was like rapid prototyping and development, just straight software development, or more data engineering sort of stuff where it's like you're working with databases and you're making reports out of that. So I'd say getting the blend of applied like communication and like the consulting skills, which are around how do you present back like project progress and like what even is a project anyway. All of these like they sound super basic, but actually going through the process of understanding it by doing it and by applying it, so much better than just sort of hearing about it. So yeah, as a result of that, I definitely have a much better understanding of the landscape, and yeah, definitely like used like that opportunity to really it helped me a lot, but it was also contributing to the clients that we were working with and the internal stakeholders and stuff like that as well. Yeah, it was an awesome experience. Yeah, so, yeah.
Awesome. I think that those experiences that let's put it into I think more a vaguer, less industry centric, but into that project management aspect of it. I wanted to ask you guys a question on that project management. It's so crucial. We can all agree that it's so crucial, not only at university, but in the industry. And like people would think, oh, project management is one big word, but actually project management means a lot of things. It could mean how do you work in a team? How do you time manage? What do you do? What's the responsibilities? When's the deadline? You've got so many of these things, and let's put it into a university point of view as a student, right? When you're a student, you do the minimum, of course, is your 2 to 1 subjects as a part-time student, but imagine doing a full load of 4 units. It's kind of the same concepts, right? As 4 subjects, you've got a lot of assignments, you've got exams, but at the end of the day, when you go to work, it's the same. It's kind of the same, but in a different context of we've got these tasks to do. We have a deadline. We've got, instead of a convener, or a lecturer, you have your manager. And your manager's always looking over it, or your project manager. So the question is, what has within your years of the year of experience from placements and of course in industry, what is the one thing that has really helped you develop these project management skills, other than of course saying experience? What have you taken out of it? Up to you guys who wants to answer, of course, but you guys, what has really been that lifter?
Yeah, cool. I can jump in there. So there was actually a unit at Swinburne called Project Management, and for me, I took that in the summer, and there was some really good lecturers there, and I reached out to these guys after I finished the unit, and I've sort of kept them up to date with where I'm at in a professional sense and where I'm at in like a project sense. And sometimes there's like gaps in a project. Like sometimes there is a project manager, sometimes there's not. And sometimes you have to fill a few of these gaps. And I think one of the key differences between like a university like project and like one of the projects out in industry is this idea of like playing it back or showing what it is that you're actually doing and keeping people like up to date so that they feel like the progress that you're making is significant and is you're going to meet timelines, and if you're not, that it's all clear and consistent and well understood. So I think for me, like actually using that relationship that I had with the lecturer and being able to bounce ideas off and get some guidance outside of a formal education setting and kind of consolidate like the experiences that I've been having, for me is like that's been so valuable. Like I've rung my lecturer like twice in the last 2 months to just check in and say like, hey, look, this is where I'm at. This is what's sort of like been happening. And like just getting some ideas and some places to go to find out more, and give me a little bit of confidence in what it is that I'm actually doing. Because like sometimes I just feel like I have no idea like what's going on. But it's good to have someone who's kind of been there before, knows how to run a project, knows some ways that you can get around a few of the easy gotchas, and just like give you a bit of direction. So I think, yeah, make use of those relationships, I guess, in a project setting. I think I deviated a little bit from the original question, but I think, yeah, making use of like all of what you have available, not just like the formal education is one part, but actually it's there's so many more opportunities that just sort of sitting there that you can jump on.